There you go.
Good.
There you go.
Knicks and Bruises, episode 22. We back in the building. I got the Guard Up Knicks podcast in the building. Salute to these guys. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good one, man. I can feel it. I never had multiple guests at once on the episode, so I'm ready for it. Let me get Rick in here. Rick, salute.
Leave Rick. Oh, there you go.
We in here, baby.
Fellas, thanks for joining me, man. Welcome to Knicks and Bruises. Your Black is Time.
Yo, Black is Time. Thank you for having us, fam.
Sure.
No, for sure. I can feel the energy. It's gonna be a good episode. First off, you can introduce your guys individually, or I can introduce you. We got Apollo here. We got Andrew.
Andre Jalil.
Andre, excuse me, Jalil.
You can say Dre. It ain't nothing Dre.
There you go, Dre. And Rick the Ruler.
Yeah.
Salute to you guys. Thank you for joining. First off, how long you guys been Knicks fans? We could start there and we'll go right into the Knicks and Bruises.
I mean, I've been a Knicks. I've never really been a fan of another team. You know what I'm saying? So technically, I've been a Knicks fan my whole life, but I didn't really start paying attention like that until like the Sprewell years. I think that was around the time where I really started paying attention to what was going on. But I was always a Knicks fan. I never disliked anything. I was always, my big brother was a huge Knicks fan himself. So yeah, he definitely. It was just me and Dre in the crib, and it was mostly Dre watching. Either controversial was Jordan sometimes, but not only Jordan, but it was mostly Knicks outside of that.
No doubt.
Yeah, I was gonna say I started being like a real Knicks fan when Jordan retired. I remember being like, man, I was like, he out of there. I was like, all right, I got to stick with those because I was watching. When we lived, you live in New York, you get the New York games anyway. It's not like I could watch. I was gonna ask Mom if she could get Chicago games or something like that. But yeah, after he retired, I was like, it's the home team. It ain't nothing to think about, But I was a more than a Chicago fan. I was a Jordan fan. I just thought he was incredible. So I was never really like a big Chicago fan. I just thought Jordan was incredible.
I definitely was gonna ask you that because I got that from your explanation before you.
Yeah, it was like
you said it.
Yeah, I got a friend now. He was like he's a Chicago Bulls fan. I'm like, why? Like, Michael Jordan. I was like, yeah, but he ain't there no more. I just stuck with Chicago. I was like, yo, you got New York teams. I don't understand. Like when I hear other people from New York say they like other teams, I'd be like, why? Like I don't understand.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I won't even give you no flack because you endured all the pain and suffering after Jordan left. So
I'm glad I was going for Jordan when he was because the Knicks kept losing at him, man. I was going to school getting into damn near fights because I come to school, they knew I was a Jordan fan. It was like, you a dick rider, all of that. I was getting all of that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Rick.
Oh man, I just remember my dad watching the game, and then I would come in because he was getting so excited. And so I sat down. I was like, let me see what is making him so excited. That looked like a good time. And I just been watching the Knicks ever since, man. Like I stopped watching for like 2 years because I just couldn't deal. But once I got back in and then Melo came and I was, Knicks all day, man. Can't tell me anything. I got a lot of heat for being a Knicks fan though. But I stayed true.
That's one of those Knicks and Bruises that we had to deal with outside of just being a fan or watching it, but dealing with the ridicule from other people that weren't fans of the Knicks or just laughed at the fact that we were. So that's a fact.
Facts, yeah. Yeah.
But as always, Knicks and Bruises, the floor is yours. So however you guys want to structure this, it's about you guys. Give me some Knicks, give me some Bruises, give me the big one, and then we'll start talking about this new regime. Get all that negative energy out the way.
Well, I'll jump in. I just wanted to mention something because in your intro, you showed a picture of when Gallinari was on the Knicks, and all I can remember, and I was laughing to myself, is him doing that dunk and missing the rim completely and just coming down.
You mean Bargnani?
Right. Sorry. And the ball came down. His head bounced off of the basketball, and then he was out for a couple of games. I just all that came back to me when I saw that picture, man.
He was out longer than a couple of games, man. That was bad.
It was awful,
embarrassing, bro.
Shaq and a fool. That's what that was.
That's a bruise right there, man.
That's a bruise. That's your.
I mean, as a Knicks fan, I got many bruises. One of my biggest bruise, I could not stand. I always called him bum ass Duhon. That was his name for me.
Yeah, you could not.
I thought Chris Duhon was the worst guard on the planet, and then Nate Robinson was coming off the bench with better numbers.
Yeah,
right.
And then we had the worst coach. I for the life of me, I don't know how. I think I understand why D'Antoni gets jobs, but I don't understand at the same time. Like I don't understand. You got a coach that don't think about defense and nothing like that.
Yeah, I hated him.
Still getting jobs. Yeah. I can't take it. So you had that dude benching Nate Robinson, and he was playing. Yeah, I hated it. I hated the whole thing. It was just like you're a Knicks fan, but you hate the coach.
Yeah, so that's stupid. He was an offensive coach, and he had better numbers. Yeah, it didn't make sense.
It was just like, and then there was other stuff about what the real situation was with him and Nate Robinson. That got me mad. I remember when we actually got to the finals that shortened season. When we had Spreewell, Cat.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That hurt me. Because it was like, we were so close. We weren't supposed to get we wasn't supposed to get that far. It was like we kept winning. It was like, yo, this is
weren't we the AC that year?
It was the AC
that year, and we went
to make the finals.
It was 5 games.
It was a wild year, and it was the short season. It was like, yo, this is crazy. I remember Allen Houston coming back from a injury, and he just looked like an old man. He couldn't move the same.
Yeah, it was different.
I remember that just being like, yo, why they got him out there? Like you heard it. It's like too many to name. I remember when we got Stoudemire, that was exciting. We traded the whole team for Carmelo. They never gelled. You know what I'm saying? We had what was my man name when we had with that squad? We had Raymond Felton.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember Raymond Felton's face when they traded him to the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
And they had the camera on him. And he was like, and they were clapping for him. And he was just like,
so
he was not happy to be there.
Yo, that was wild because they had shifted the whole team. We had Timothy Mozgov.
Yeah, and they traded him over
and it's like a far cry from the Knicks we got now. It's just like it's finally exciting. Like, you know, with the squad, when you say the Knicks and Bruises, the Bruises we had, all of that, going through all that, people laughing at you, I'm walking around, people looking at your hat, but like, yeah, better luck next year. All of this stuff. It's just like, yo, like, all right, who's your team? Oh, the Golden State Warriors. You know what I mean?
Of course, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
How long you was a Warriors fan?
Right.
Yeah, like 2 years.
You know, like LeBron, I got a friend, he get whatever team LeBron's on, that's his team.
I mean, we all got a bunch of those friends.
I'm like, yo, dude, you the corniest, bro.
I mean,
and I tell my friends
about it with liking one player.
Nothing
wrong. You don't gotta like the whole team.
Like you gotta like
that one player.
Right.
That's stupid.
You got nothing but Cleveland, Miami, and Laker hats. Like
my man had a block party. He had like this whole block party. So you know how it is, everybody drinking, and then like at the end of the night, we all went to watch one of the dudes' crib. This is in Flatbush. And his cousin, I remember his younger cousin had a Heat jersey on, and he was a big LeBron fan. And I'm like looking at this dude like, ew, man, like he just wouldn't shut up about LeBron. But then he went back to Cleveland. And I saw him the next year at the next block party. I was like, yo, I bet you're a Cleveland fan now, right? He was like, you know it. I was like, ew, bro.
Corny. And you owning up to it too.
Yeah, like you all proud of it. I was like, dude, you're supposed to be like, nah. He was like, yeah, you know it. I was like, ew, where's your jersey at, man? Get out of here. Anyway, that's my
whole. He named like I mean all of them really. But there's a lot more. Of course, you're a Knicks fan. There's a bunch of bruises, but there's a few for me. I don't remember. It started. I forgot what game it
I can
was.
tell
I
you
went
his
to.
biggest one right now. I'll tell you his biggest bruise right now.
Wow.
We got his
What's it?
favorite player at the end of his
Yeah.
career. You knew, right? we got
All right. So all right.
T-Mac.
Here's the thing. I was this plays into the Knicks was always my favorite team, but my favorite player was T-Mac. And that till the end of time, like that's my guy, right? So
To the sunset.
to the sunset, you know what I'm saying? I don't care who you talk about, Jordan. I'll get out of here, but I mean we all know Jordan.
Right.
Anyway,
No.
my thing with T-Mac was I'm like, yo, like it would be amazing for him to be in New York. Like this way I could just really be, all around New York. But everybody knew I was a T-Mac fan. By the time that happened, it was the end of the road for my man. You know what I'm saying? And it was and I still remember that's a bruise right there. Honestly, the first game when we played against OKC, and I think we lost in overtime. I think by 2 points because of a game-winning shot by KD. And I was just like, and who was the coach at that time? I forgot who was our coach.
Might have been we got T-Mac.
It wasn't Van Gundy.
No. It might have been.
I think it was
D'Antoni.
D'Antoni.
Might have been D'Antoni, but he didn't play him for the entire overtime.
Oh, yeah,
And then we lost. We lost by 2 points. And I'm like, yo, you just like spoiled the perfect like homecoming for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like T-Mac coming home and get us a win. And he still had 27 points that game without even playing in the overtime game. But I had a bunch as Dre was running through them and he just snatched them out of my head. But yeah, but I mean, obviously for me, the block on Melo, Roy Hibbert.
That killed Melo the rest of that game. After that block, he was finished.
I mean, we was finished after that game. Like the whole arena, like it was over. Like you felt the whole team. Because we was on the comeback and everything was feeling good, and then Melo went up, and you kind of knew he was about to flush it on him. Like, let's go. Like, like that was it, and it was over from there. And then you know what I'm saying, but a bunch of bruises, man. It's one with the Amari when they finally get to the playoffs and you punching the glass.
The fire extinguisher glass.
That was annoying. I mean, and it's funny, you started the show and I had the Vaseline. It was with like Stephon Marbury. I forgot what Knick game it was, but me and my boy Alex and my boy Aaron went to a Knick game, and he had the chance to win the game at the free throw line. I forgot what game it was, and he bricked both of them, and I was like, all right, cool. And that was my first time in the Garden. Actually, that was my first game in the Garden.
I remember that game in the
Garden. So I was like, yeah, man, I love my guys, but it's a lot of bruises.
So it's funny that you got that T-Mac moment, because every single guy who was one of my favorite players, like outside of the Knicks, has ended up on the Knicks.
That's crazy.
And it was always at the end of their career. So,
yeah, of course.
So T-Mac was on that list.
Yeah.
Penny Hardaway was on that list.
Yep.
Honestly, the only one that wasn't outside his prime was Marbury, and
Melo, because Melo's still playing,
and Melo,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But those guards, man, always at the tail end of their career. Baron Davis, he's the other one.
Yep.
Steve Francis.
I wasn't a fan of him. I wasn't a fan of that move.
Yeah, nobody was. Nobody like that. But it was like, why are you bringing him over here, man? Come on.
Yeah, and especially when we had Marbury, you know what I mean? Like if we didn't have Marbury, I probably would have been enthused for Francis, but I didn't see that backcourt working together.
Right.
I didn't see how. But it's
Is that Isaiah Thomas did all that?
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
That was Isaiah Thomas bringing. We had like 4 or 5 guards.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. Yep.
He was a big guard guy, obviously.
Yep. And then
all the guards
talked about D'Antoni and
guards gonna play everything. Get in the post. Shut up.
You talked about D'Antoni and Nate Robinson.
Right.
How about D'Antoni and Marbury?
I don't remember too much about their relationship, but I do know that it didn't end well.
Yeah.
It started in Phoenix. And then Marbury was here. They brought D'Antoni in, and the big question is, are they gonna be over their rift from Phoenix?
Right.
And
Apparently not.
D'Antoni's it's water under the bridge. New, you know what I mean? New start.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And doesn't play him the first game of the season. Like doesn't play, not just doesn't start him, doesn't play him.
Wow.
Yeah.
And never told him anything. So
And then he wants us to think that the Melo stuff wasn't personal. Like, come on, bro.
yeah. I never liked D'Antoni.
The
I
worst
hated
coach.
him.
The worst coach.
Yeah.
And to make it worse, they sat him for about 3-4 games, and then we either did a trade or had an injury, and he was the only guard available. You know what I mean? And he didn't. He's like, nah, I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm out of here.
I know this has nothing to do with anything, but D'Antoni always looked like he should have like owned a hotel somewhere. Like he never looked like an NBA coach. He's like the person that will greet you, be like, "Hey, thank you for staying with us." Like it's just
thank you.
Never respected him as a coach.
Yeah, man, I never liked him either. I didn't like him here. I obviously rooted for him because he was our coach, but constantly I was seeing things. I'm like, this dude again. You know what I mean? Like, what is he doing?
He ruined it. Like we had a lot of coaches ruining things for us.
Where's D'Antoni right now?
He left the Nets.
He left the Nets so he could do something. Where he went? Yeah, because he was with the Nets this past season.
So I mean, I think we breezed by the Knicks and Bruises. I'm gonna ask you like a couple quick questions, and then we start talking about what's going on now. So number one, how did y'all feel about the Porzingis trade when it happened?
Oh,
we were happy.
We were happy. It's funny. We actually were birthed out of the Porzingis trade. Actually, we started the day after. That was the day after the Porzingis trade is when we started the podcast. And I think
it was right before it, because I remember, because we were texting each other about it. Like all day, and we were like, we're gonna have to talk about this.
Yes, that's right.
So I think it was right before.
It might have been right before. But either way, Porzingis leaving the Knicks, I think it was a good time for us. It was to me, it was bittersweet because it was someone that was clearly the best player on our team. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, Dre and I talked about it at length, like for years, even from when we first got him. As much as I liked Porzingis, I was never convinced that he was that guy. Mm-hmm. So, everything that transpired from the way that he in the front office was going back to, head to head, and the brother situation, it just left a sour taste in my mouth. And I was like, nah, I'm good off this dude. And he's never here. He's always hurt. He can't play a full season. So, to me, I was like, this to me, it ended up turning into, we're talking about how last season ended. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't have Derrick Rose if it wasn't for Dennis Smith Jr. So, you know what I'm saying? I think that trade ended up being perfect for us, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day. But yeah, man, and I was cool with it. I was cool for it. Ever since that happened, I was cool with it. Yeah, everything has been, they've been getting rid of all the bad blood in the front office ever since.
Yeah, at the time, it didn't make sense to me. I'll be honest. I thought they just didn't shop him long enough.
Yeah, it seemed like a quick move.
So that was what I was upset with. But then, I always try to rationalize things. So I'm like, you know what? It's probably better that they did that like on some overnight. It felt like it was overnight. Right. It's probably better that way than
they did
the turmoil of the media knowing that we're shopping him and what that would have brought. You know what I mean? Like now we just dealt with, all right, the trade is done. Y'all can say what y'all want, but it's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that speculation period and what are they gonna get and what is he worth and all that, I think that would have made it a lot worse than what we got.
I think they did rush it because he had that what was that whole thing with the girl in the hotel?
Yeah, it was some scandal.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was that scandal. I think that was like one of the things that motivated them to move him. But
that actually in his apartment
and his brother.
Yeah,
his brothers and you see the same thing he going through talking about he want to leave. He's soft.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But we knew that from before. He actually surprised me that season that Carmelo left and he took the reins.
Yeah, he did better than I thought.
Yeah, he
Right.
did better than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I was just like, when he was asking for like all of this stuff, and he was hurt half the year, and he's just like, yo, I don't care who it is. Like, I don't understand how somebody like Russell Westbrook, we all know how great that dude is, and Bradley Beal, and but $40 million a year for a dude who never won a chip, just to me, is kind of like,
Yeah.
it's like over the top.
Right.
Like for some,
A lot of
I
people
feel
were
like there
saying
should be
that.
a cap on the cap who ain't win yet. I feel like the only person that asking for that is somebody like LeBron or Stephen Curry.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there should be a few people who's getting that kind of money, and for Porzingis to be one of the guys that's asking for the money he's asking for, it's like, dude, you talking about you don't want to bang with the big dudes at the center position when you're 7'1", 7'2".
Come on,
I don't
bro.
want to hear nothing from you. Go in there and gain some weight. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been in the gym with him like this. Nah, some more. Put
Some more. Like it's on 25. Like, yo, what you doing over there?
You're like this. Yo, is he crying? Are you crying? You know what I mean? So that's why I was happy about it.
It's funny about the situation is that a lot of people that were like non-Knick fans, they were just like, yo, man, I heard, so sorry. And I was just like, nah, this is actually pretty good. Because I always have the philosophy that is, I don't want anybody here that doesn't want to be here. Because they're not going to give their all. And, it's not going to be fun to watch them. So good riddance.
I'm looking forward to see what they do with that Ben Simmons.
And let's be honest. We thought we was getting Kyrie and KD.
We did. We did.
I thought KD was coming for sure until I saw that video where he was just like, I'll never play for the Knicks. Yeah. Right. So I was just like, oh, all right, whatever.
And so, like, with all of that, we don't want you. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't care. You one of the best in the game today. Go sit down.
I never liked that, and that's kind of why whenever the KD to New York stuff, as much as I would have been happy that he was here, I was always a big KD fan, and I just knew that him and the Knicks, if it didn't end up happening or if it didn't work out, it would have left a sour taste in my mouth, and I wouldn't have liked Durant. And that's starting to happen already, and he didn't even come here. So you know what I'm saying? So like, I didn't really like the fact that it was happening like that, but I don't know, man. There's a lot about the dude that he's an amazing basketball player, but I don't know. I can't call it. You see, he's sticking up for his man Kyrie right now. Yeah. He's sticking up for Kyrie, and then respect his privacy. But I know on the inside, it's eating him up because he want to win, bro.
Because he just want to win.
And at this point, he really has no choice but to do that. You know what I mean?
He has to stick behind it.
He can't really, you know what I mean, bring some type of controversy into it. He's already kind of anti-media, so they got to stick together. You know what I mean?
Kind of.
Right. He can't stand talking.
I mean, who's more anti-media though, him or Kyrie?
Kanye West. That's who.
But and then you mentioned gaining weight. What's your thoughts on Mitchy Robinson, man? He's looking big.
I didn't even see the whole thing, but he out there going like this. I don't like this.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he actually did a before and after.
Yeah. Oh,
no, you talking about during the press conference?
Yeah,
I was, but in general, of the weight gain, it's noticeable. You know what I mean?
Go ahead, Kat. My bad.
No, go ahead, Dre.
I think I like the way it looks. I think that like one of my biggest things about the series against the Hawks last year, in that series is for Clint Capella to go off. He's not even like one of the best, and he had his way with the Knicks. And I felt like I was like, I think one of the glaring things we needed was a center. We all know that Nerlens Noel's a lightweight. There's some nights where Nerlens Noel looks like he's scared. And if Mitchell Robinson is there, that the heavy Mitchell Robinson, on paper, that right there is a big deal. That's a big difference.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we got to see the games being played because he's already hurting himself, doing a bunch of things and being super active in places he don't have to. A lot of fouls.
Right.
But him being heavier, I don't know if he could be jumping out trying to block threes like he was before. You know what I'm saying? Which we love to see, but sometimes it may not have been necessary. But with that extra weight, I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of Mitchell Robinson we're gonna get.
I mean, I'll tell you this though, it looked like all muscle. You know what I mean?
It does.
It don't look like he just gained weight.
Right. That boy put muscle on.
And did you guys see the press conference,
Yeah,
his
I did.
interview
I
today?
didn't see the whole joint. Nah.
All
What he
right.
said.
I mean, I just noticed that he's maturing. Like Tibbs been talking about he's maturing, but you could tell like mentally he's definitely maturing, and I think that is gonna go play a big role in him playing well on the court.
He got that list though, and it always makes him sound like a kid.
It does.
He's always gonna
But
sound
even-
like it. He's like, yeah,
even-
man, you know, thing. I ain't got this muscle. I got these muscles. But you take these guns out, and I'm like,
It's
that's
that-
you, Mitch.
It's the Tyson syndrome.
It's so true, man.
Sound like Mike
Yeah.
Tyson.
Like, is he for real?
Serious?
But that was the thing. Like last year, you could hear him talking. It was times that you wondered, is he doing that on purpose? You know,
Right,
he's trying to be funny.
Right.
Like, but the maturity, like you could tell he's not doing that on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you can tell.
like you
That's
could tell
what it is.
he's in a different mindset.
Mhm.
He's ready for work, and he didn't throw Tibbs or the organization under the bus when asking. Like they was picking at him, like trying to get him to say.
They tried,
trying to get him to say like, yo, you said you was ready while we was in the playoffs. You know what I mean? To come back, and now they saying you still not ready. And you know, and his response was, "I trust these guys. I trust Tibbs." You know what I mean? Like, do I want to be out there? Yeah, but if Tibbs is saying, "Pass this hurdle, go to the next step. Pass this hurdle, go to the next," I'm gonna believe in that. I'm gonna trust that, and you know what I mean? Like, kudos to him for that, man. Because
yeah, man. Right. I loved what I saw with Mitch in his presser, because it just is as immature as he can be. Like, he likes to joke. That's you know, I wouldn't really call it immature.
Yeah, you can't be mad.
He's a fun dude. He likes to crack jokes. He likes to make, lighten up the room, and you know what I mean. And that makes it easier for him, because I know coming into the league, I remember he kind of had a thing with speaking in front of people. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I noticed that he started to use his humor to lighten up the room so it could warm him up. You know what I'm saying? So he's used it. Now he's kind of mastered it. Now whenever he wants the room to laugh, the room laughs every single time. So one thing that I did notice is that he's just they probe a lot. Every single time they ask him a question. They're asking him very intricate details that could answer another question, but they're not asking that question at the time. And he's starting to see it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely just proud of his maturity at this point, because that's something that I was concerned about before. It looked like he was having problems with the front office. Certain things he would tweet out. It would be like, how does he really feel about these guys? You know what I'm saying? But to see him say these things now, you know what I'm saying? And to be trusting him, like you said, this is a contract year for him. So he's ready to go out there, and he's I'm sure he doesn't want to rush it and then hurt himself again. So he wants to be ready for that, that contract.
And speaking of the contract, they asked him about that, and he could have went left with that. He could have said something irresponsible or that was clickbait, and his response was, I'm letting my agent handle that. You know what I mean? So when my agent comes to me with something, you know what I mean, we'll talk about that, and then we'll figure things out in real time. I mean, just the way he was answering things, holding Mitchell Robinson. I'm excited for that, because again, a lot of people talked about his immaturity. That wasn't one of my knocks on him, but to see the growth, now I can really understand what people were talking about, the past 3 years about, he's so immature.
Right.
Like, I can notice the difference.
You can see it now,
right off the bat. So I'm excited for that. Anything you guys all right. Who do you think is the X factor on this roster?
Ooh,
good question.
Mitch.
You think Mitch?
I think Mitch. The X factor, I think Mitch. I think we know what we expect out of Kemba. I think we know what to expect out of Fournier. I think the X factor is Mitch. If Mitch could, the way he performs, there's two things that need to happen. He needs to stay healthy. That's one. And he needs to stay out of foul trouble. He needs to be a more, the game has to slow down. He has to be smarter. That's pretty much it. If he does that, the Knicks are just already a step ahead, or a little bit better than they were, or maybe a lot better than they were. If he's taking his shots close to the basket, rebounding, getting putbacks, and he's got the weight where he's confident to go back and bang with some of the bigger guys in the league. Mitch is the X factor. I was just gonna say, as we were talking about him, I was super, super high on that dude when we first got him.
Yeah,
Me too.
I was like the biggest fan of Mitch, man. Like it just hurts to see him out. And so now, and you tamper your expectations. But that dude got some game. That kid is special.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm sorry, he did a they remember his first season, they had him doing he was dunking from the free throw line. He's like after the half court, they had him doing 2 steps and he was like dunking. Like if they unleash that dude right there and he get used to being in the game and he stay healthy, I think the sky's the limit for that kid. I think he's the X factor.
I agree 100%.
Word.
I mean, my only question with Mitch is with the weight is, will he be as nimble and like, you know what I'm saying, able to fly from the rim all the way out to the perimeter and still, you know what I'm saying? Because that's an extra like 30 pounds from when we seen him last. So, you know what I mean? This is who he is, but how effective will he be at doing it? You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to be something that throws more weight on his knees and then he's putting too much pressure because he's trying to jump from the paint all the way to the 3-point line. Because Mitch, he has issues with tempering himself, and I want to get this block, and I'm all in the paint. He's at the 3-point line. I'm gonna get this block. I don't care.
I think he got better at that though.
I love the fact that he wants to be defensive player of the year.
Right. Yeah, I love that.
You gotta have that as a goal.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. And he said that last year, right?
And he was hurt most of the year.
Yeah.
I felt like last season would have been a lot different if he stayed healthy. 100%.
I agree. And speaking of staying out of foul trouble, I think he already mastered that.
Yeah, he got better at it.
A lot of people talk about his blocks were down, but I think that's because he's learning that he can alter shots without blocking them, and he's learning I don't have to jump for everything. It's more important for me to be on the floor.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think he fouled out last year. I remember at some point there was a crazy stat like he hadn't even had 5 fouls for like the longest amount of
I think the most he had was like 4.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff really got to him last year. I think they were in there and they was, and this is the other thing about this. We had 1 year of this coaching staff.
Just one.
So them bringing everybody back, this coaching staff, and if they are as good as they were, and I don't doubt that they were good. I don't think it's a fluke. I don't want you guys to think that I'm thinking that the Knicks were a fluke last season. We continue to teach these young boys how to play and when not to jump for somebody like Mitch. I think this team is dangerous. They brought these guys back. They already know how to communicate. They be verbal. I think the Knicks are going to be in the top 4, top 5, top 4 in the East. I mean, like these pieces together, I'm like really excited about the season.
Chemistry.
I want to press the fast forward button.
And they address their weaknesses from the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, I want to say you guys made 2 very good points. And you're absolutely right. But my X factor, I would say Julius Randle. And the only reason why I say that is, to your point, Dre, you like you know what to expect from these certain players. We don't know what to expect from Julius Randle because the leap that he made from the beginning of the season to not even halfway through the season was drastic. Mm-hmm. He made the All-Star team. Like it was crazy. So now we have these other pieces. Is he going to be the guy who the team belongs to him? I know we had the comment about Kemba's team or whatever like that. But now with these players, like who's going to shine, and you never know. So I think the X factor is, can Randle continue to either do what he ended the season doing, not the playoffs, but can he take that into this season, or can he take that to the next level? So I think he'll be an X factor.
I'm not worried about Randle at all.
Right.
That I don't like saying boy, but that boy worked, man. Like that's all he do.
He's like the workhorse
in the off season.
Yeah.
So and the guys we brought in, Kemba, he's so unselfish. You know what I mean? He's such a team guy that I don't even think. I think he's gonna take over when he needs to, rather than trying to take over the team.
Matchup.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
They talked about in his interview
situational,
leadership, And he,
Yeah.
you know, again, they was trying to. I think they was poking.
They was poking at him. Yeah.
Trying to get that clickbait.
Yep.
And he wouldn't say I'm the leader, but said, you know, I have leadership qualities. I have
quality.
you know what I mean. I'm a veteran now. You know what I mean. I've always been like a team guy anyway. Like he said all the right things, and that's who he is truly. I don't even think, you know, he was just saying the right things. It was the truth. So I'm not too worried about Randle because I think a lot of it is going to be easier for him. It's going to be less pressure on him. I think it's going to be less double teams on him. So now it's really about showing that work that he put in. So I'm less. I wouldn't say X factor because I really do believe. I think I know what we're going to get from him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets better. You know what I mean? If he shows more.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's as much as he works.
If he stays the same, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Even if he dips off a little bit, because we have a lot more.
Because have more, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's a possibility.
That's a possibility.
But if he falls off, it doesn't mean he didn't perform as well.
Exactly.
He has a lot of help.
Because he has more help.
So even if he falls off a little bit as far as numbers, I think that means that the other players stepped up. You know, Reggie Bullock, you couldn't depend on him for a basket. He couldn't create his own shot.
Nope.
Right, and neither could what's the bum ass point guard we had last season?
Peyton.
Oh my god.
Player X.
My blood pressure just.
But he did have a couple 20+ games. So I mean,
but you know, they call me and Sim the Peyton protectors or the Peyton defenders, but he did win us at least 2 games as well.
Yeah,
where the team didn't play well and we wouldn't have won if he, you know what I mean, if he didn't do what he did.
You talk about Peyton?
Yeah, Peyton. Yeah. Listen, man. One thing about Peyton, he's definitely a good locker room guy. As much as he was like shitted on all year,
his energy was bad too.
Yeah, I'm saying like he never let that trickle into the locker room. You know what I'm saying?
But he still didn't pass to RJ. So I mean, I don't know.
And on RJ too, that's my X factor because to me. And my guys know they know I'm a huge RJ supporter. 3 is my favorite number. You know what I'm saying? He was drafted in 3rd spot. So you know what I'm saying? That's my man. I got to ride with him. But RJ to me, I think he's an X factor, the X factor, because if he does not play well this season, he's trade bait. That's just it, especially this year. If he does not show that he's making a step this year, he's definitely going to be traded. And this is not something I expect to happen. I don't see that happening at all. I see RJ making a leap that a lot of people don't think he can make. That's my personal opinion, but that's why I think he's the X factor, because if he does not perform up to that level, it will open more trade talks. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you said you wanted 20, 10, and 10 or something like that?
20, 10, and 10.
Yeah. Well, what were the numbers you said you wanted?
Ooh, easy there.
What were the numbers?
He want him averaging a triple double.
You got the wrong one out here. Nah,
you said something like that. 20.
I did not. I said 22.
Russell Barrett.
You talking about next year?
Yeah.
Oh, this year, I at least want to see 27 and 4 from RJ.
27 and 4. Okay.
From RJ,
I mean, that's doable.
He basically did that this year.
And that would be a step up.
Absolutely.
RJ, you want RJ to average 27 points?
20 points, 7 rebounds.
Oh, I'm about to say ripping. All right. I'm about to be like, what?
Yeah, let me clear that up just for even the chat. Just I did not mean 27 points. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I was like, how's he averaging 27 points?
All right.
Come on.
You don't think if he takes a step up that increases the possibility of him being traded?
Of a trade? Absolutely. It increases how many teams would be interested in RJ. I don't think it increases the chance that the front office would trade him. I think that would just
unless they get Lillard back.
I mean, even then, bro, because the trade, it won't just be for straight up RJ. You'd have to give up RJ and Mitch. And is it worth that at the point for someone who would be 32 by that time? Whoa. Easy there, my guy. Who are you talking about?
who by the way, is the real X factor?
You must be watching overseas games. I ain't seen that dude play yet.
Word, he in a boot right now.
You about to get the X.
Where, yeah, he about to get the boot. That's what he about to get.
They
He
be like,
in the
"Yo,
boot, he about to get the boot.
you want to talk about some
Speaking-
X Factor in here? Come here
speaking
for a
of that,
second."
speaking of getting the boot, and because I don't think he survives. And he's hurt. It's not his fault, but
Yeah.
I think it's a business, and I think Jericho Sims gets that spot. And opens up a two-way for one of
somebody
those
else.
other guys.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think Mendoza stays? Do you think if he doesn't, do you think that's an open spot, or do you think they have someone in mind?
I think those was out of here. I think it's just a matter of time. It was a non-guarantee. We talked about this yesterday. I think it was a non-guaranteed contract anyway. So, especially with all the competition at that position, you already got Kemba, you already got D Rose. I mean, if you're trying to throw IQ in there, there's IQ. There's Deuce McBride. I just don't think he has.
Burks. Yeah, it's
even and if all four of those guys go down, he's gonna play Burks before he plays Luka
We got
Vildoza at the
Knox.
point guard position. So yeah, I don't think he said Knox.
I'm glad he gets all the jokes though, man. Like, yeah, got Knox in there.
I was a Knoxer, man.
Were you?
I was a Knoxer on draft.
I was happy with it. On draft night, I was there.
On draft night, I could dig it.
Yeah. I was a Knoxer, you know what I mean? Up until, I was defending him last year, but
ain't nothing for him now. Like, what you saying about him now? How you feel about him now?
It's on him, really. I think he's gonna get an opportunity before the rookies, and it's really about what he does in that opportunity. I think he still has a chance to survive the season, or even be like in the rotation, but he's gonna have to earn it. It's not gonna be given to him. He's gonna get the nod before the three young guys. He has things that are to his advantage as far as the size. Yep, the length.
Size,
So if he learns to use that stuff, especially defensively, I think he could get in there. But
what's his problem? What's his issue? What's that one thing?
I hate to say it, yo. I hate to say it because
I think you know.
It's what everybody told me when I was a Knoxer on draft night, and it's the motor.
The motor.
Yeah, I was gonna say heart. He ain't got the heart.
Yeah.
He's just not that kid. He's like a really, really nice guy, and it bothers me to see that because he's one of those dudes you look at and you be like, yo, don't give me that body and have me playing basketball.
Yeah, like
I'm dunking on everybody's head. I dare you to try to push me. I'm a monster out there.
I'm going crazy.
Don't give me Kevin Knox body, and I have an opportunity to play for the Knicks. Same thing with Frank, because Cap, this guy right here, was a big was a big Frank guy. But I'm actually surprised. Not to be funny, I'm surprised he's still here.
Man, Frank Cobb,
man. In the league.
Yeah. Frank is in Dallas now. Oh, you a Dallas Mavericks fan now too?
I'm a Dallas Knicks fan. You heard me?
The Mavericks.
The Mavericks.
That's a good one.
Because all of us is over there anyway, so we good. I'm still rocking one. Yeah, I'm saying
Mavericks.
The Mavericks. But I definitely feel the same way about Knox. Like, they both had their opportunity in terms of Frank and Knox. They both have had their opportunity. And unfortunately, Frank, his time has passed. You know what I'm saying? He had the opportunity. Same thing with, I think it's telling if Grimes starts to get more time than Knox, it's really over.
It's a wrap.
Oh yeah.
It's over. It's
you can start packing.
I don't see that. I don't see that happening off jump. So
no, it better not. It better not.
Knox would have to blow his opportunity for that to happen.
Which I think he's going to
do. Because I don't know, because Tibbs did say in
that he's
his presser that Knox does work well in practice. In practice, you know what I'm saying?
But, you know, it's funny. Yeah. He said that all last year about Obi, and I can make an argument that Obi's the only guy that had a long leash. You know what I mean? Like Tibbs went through the motions with everybody.
For sure.
He needed it.
Frank had a opportunity. Knox had his opportunity. Rivers had his opportunity. But everybody that messed up got taken out, or their role got decreased into the point where they became situational.
Mm-hmm.
Not for Obi though.
Obi didn't. Obi didn't.
Nah, Obi had a long leash. He definitely did. I mean,
how so though?
Well, all right. So this is what
So
this is what it was.
he had a long
I'm
and a short
comparing
leash.
it
Yeah,
to the way
I was gonna say that, Dre. Go ahead.
the way he treated the rest of the team.
Yeah,
That's what I'm comparing it to.
Well, but
I'm not
you know,
comparing it just to minutes and that.
Right.
OB was important when you pick somebody like what they pick him at 8. What
yeah.
OB get picked at?
Mhm.
You got to play him. Number one. Number two, he's behind your star. So if anything happened to Julius, you got to have OB in there playing. That's why I feel like that's where the long leash comes from. The short leash was he did fuck up sometimes, and he yanked him like a bunch of times. He yanked him mad quick.
And
but,
they asked him about that too.
Right, and he broke out in the playoffs. That OB we saw in the playoffs is the OB we was looking for. You know what I think is going to be the X factor for OB himself, not the X factor. He mentioned it. He said it in his presser too, like the crowd. OB is from New York City. He been at the Rucker and all of that. Like the crowd is a big deal for a dude like that. And in the playoffs, we had a crowd. So now I'm looking forward to seeing what that crowd does, because for some people that's impactful. You got the quiet joint. You know, I was watching some of them games. It looked like it was like the Euro teams where the crowd is super far away from everybody. I think OB is that one guy where the crowd impacts him, and I think he's gonna have a breakout season this year. And I'm hoping.
Listen, I agree. And by no means, was I trying to downplay OB or you know what I mean. Like I was really just looking at it from Tibbs, the way Tibbs used the rest of the team. Yeah, I think everybody. You know what I mean. Like Frank got pulled. You know what I mean. Like after opportunity.
Rivers, but we understand why. We saw why he can't score.
Rivers won us 2 games off jump. And then
disappeared.
And he was gone.
That deteriorated fast.
It did. Fast. But it's funny. It's funny that you said that because Obi mentioned it during his presser as well. He was saying that when did you feel like it was basically they asked him, did you feel like it was warranted? Yeah. Did you feel like it was warranted when he was pulling you out of those games? And he was like, I clearly if I was getting pulled out of the game, it wasn't because he didn't want me in there. It's because I messed up. I must have did something wrong.
I love that kid. I want to keep Obi. That boy, man. And he's coming behind a star.
Exactly.
All-star this season. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna get those minutes. Like you said though, he got his opportunity, but he got yanked. Yeah. But he kept getting opportunities. That's where the leash was long. Right. Yeah. You got your number, your eighth seed. Go ahead, my bad.
No, you got. I was just gonna say my concern with Obi having a breakout season though is if he does. I don't know how much he's going to be able to play next to Julius. And I mean, if Julius is still playing 30 plus minutes, that doesn't allow many minutes for Obi to play next to him unless you're running them both out there. And Tibbs did mention that he defensively, he doesn't like that. Like he said it outright. You know what I'm saying?
He said he was going to give it a shot again.
Yeah.
But, he said he flat out said it didn't work.
It didn't work. Yeah. He said
the only way I see that working is Randle or Obi is gonna have to get so good that they could so versatile that they could play the 3, one of them.
Right, but neither one of them are known for like Julius is not a guy that you're confident in his defense, and Obi has been looking lost.
I don't know. Last year he showed me something.
He actually statistically Julius was one of the best defenders in the league last year.
Last season.
Yeah, in the
post. But Obi is like he's been looking lost. And if Obi looks lost, I feel like that starts to have an effect on everybody because now you out of position. You trying to help Obi,
right?
And that somebody's getting foul,
And back to what Apollo said, or what Obi said in his presser, he knew why he was getting pulled. So he named things like being out of position and how he was hurting the team. But that's one of the things that I noticed he's improved on. Granted, it was summer league, but it wasn't about his offense in the summer league. To me, it was about his defense. That's what he showed me. Like he doesn't look lost anymore.
Right.
He actually looks like he knows.
He's watched some film. Yeah.
Yep. So I think he's gonna make a big leap there. And one of the things people gotta know is it's not really about stopping your man. It's more about being in the right position,
right,
and just making it tough.
Make it as tough as you can. Yeah.
And if you get a stop, that's great. But if you make it tough, that's great too. And if he makes it, you take your hat off.
Yeah, because that's why they say the phrase all the time: "Great defense, better shot." Because no matter how good a defense you play, dudes practice to make the shot over the greatest defense. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna get some shots made on you. You know what I'm saying? When you're out there actually playing defense. But that's what I want to see. I want you playing defense. I don't want you saying like, "Oh, he's gonna make the shot. I ain't gonna give it my whole effort." Nah. You know what I'm saying? It's a little different.
Hey, that's a fact.
Yeah, so sound like Steven Mendez. He's like my almighty Knicks. Like
That's what I was laughing at just now. I was that's a diehard fan right there.
Takeover.
Word.
We can't
He
deny
gotta have the
that.
room. He got Knicks shit all over the room.
That's salute to the chat, yo. For
Salute
real.
to the chat.
Appreciate you guys joining in.
Yeah.
We're gonna probably wrap it up in about 10 more minutes. Unless you got time and we can go longer because I'm good. But let me see what else I got for you guys.
Really quick.
Yeah.
My bad. Why you think about that? I was gonna say what could be the X factor, which we would have no way of knowing, is if Knox plays well. Because if he's the 3 coming off the bench, and he actually performs this year,
right?
The way that I guess we don't have high expectations for him anymore. But let's say like this is year 2, and we're looking at him and the way he could play, and he could be dunking on somebody's heads and getting angry and all of that. I think that he could really be, because he got the shot, he got the jumper. If he's engaging on defense, because I feel like for Tibbs, that's like his number one thing. I feel like if he performs well, I think Burks is out. You know what I'm saying? So in order for Knox, if Knox performs that well, and they're not gonna get rid of their young kids. So I do think that Knox would be that guy that would be out.
Yeah.
Burks would be out if Knox performs well, and vice versa. If Burks performs well like he did last, because Burks saved us a bunch of games last year.
Yeah.
If Burks does that again and Knox is still on, he's out.
Yeah. So I'll take it a step further. Because I don't think it's just Knox is one of those versatile guys too that can play multiple positions, as is Burks, as is most of our team. So if Quick is falling out of the rotation, Burks slides down, Knox slides up. You know what I mean? Like it's a bunch of different scenarios where who nobody's safe really. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna have to take advantage of the opportunity. But I do think it's gonna be really hard for Knox to outplay Burks. In the sense that Burks will give you 12 on a bad night. You know what I mean?
And Knox will give you 12 on a good night.
Yeah.
Like Knox had 4 threes last night. You seen that? How much?
Exactly.
12.
Exactly.
12. Yeah, 4 threes last night. How much?
I'll go even further. Knox had 4 threes in the first half. Oh, word? What did he end the game with? 12.
Yep.
What happened the rest of the game? Nah, the coach wasn't here.
Knox is standing there in the corner.
Yeah. He was watching.
Yo, he had 4 threes in the first half.
I will say though, if Quickly does get it together, I think that does change a lot.
He's gonna have a great season. I believe. He and Obi, they've been practicing together
every day, every single day.
Yeah, sometimes 2 a day. So it's like Ricky, I think they're both gonna play well.
100%. And you know why? First of all, like again, the continuity with this team, they brought the squad back.
Yep.
They got and the people they brought in is not people that, like if you look at Fournier, he ain't trying, he's not a bad teammate. You look at Kemba, he's not going to be a bad teammate if he ends up on the floor with them. And we talked about this, about him trying to draw fouls and not finish. He's always out there flailing, trying to get the foul. And I think they even talked about that. He said, didn't Tibbs say that he would have got those fouls back when I forgot when he talked about the league like 10 or 12 years ago or something like that, and then he talked about the league now, and he said he would have got those calls or whatever the case. But that says that they understand what it is that he's doing down there. So they're either coaching him to, you got to finish, or you draw it like this. You know what I'm saying? Tibbs wanted to shoot that shot. He got the jumper. He said he's been working on that floater. Nobody taking Quickly's spot. I think Quickly's in.
Yeah, I think he could.
If he performs any better than he wasn't as consistent last year. Any mistake he made, I was never really mad at him because he was a rookie and he's a rookie off the bench. If he plays better this season, we were scoring like 30 off the bench, and they starting with Rose. Last year we didn't get Rose to almost like middle of the season. And you starting with him.
You
know what I'm saying? Like, so you got the whole squad. They got a whole off season together. They got camp together. This squad is like these boys is they're gonna do damage. Yo, I'm with Steven Mendez, the almighty take over his real.
Because he did mention during his he did mention during his presser that he was just, improving on point guard skills and seeing the flow a little bit better. So that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to seeing. If he improves, that's the only thing. His playmaking and being a leader, the lead ball handler on the floor, that's the only thing separating him from being a 6-man to a starter, in my opinion. And I think that's a real thin line when it comes to Quickly, because on some nights he's a starter material. He's a starter. You know what I'm saying? And some nights he is playing more like a 6-man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just I'm the streak. He's a streak shooter. You know what I'm saying? If he starts missing and he's not bringing you anything else, all right, let's just pull him. You know what I'm saying?
But the 6-man, that's his position.
Right.
If you look at, and I don't like to go too crazy about what I saw in summer in the summer camp, or what do you call it, summer camp?
Summer league.
Yeah, summer camp. The kids running around. So in summer league, they were far. They looked like they were far and beyond all them kids out there. Off of
they did.
Season. They looked like they was in there playing.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
But I want them to have that kind of loose, because when you get around, like now you're around the real players, you stiffen up. You don't want to do things wrong. But if they play loose like that, I feel like those dudes are really gonna have. They were far and beyond those kids out there, man. They were like, just had them out there, just show them how it's done, and they definitely did that. So they look like they ready for the big time.
Yeah, right, that's a fact. That's a fact. Which one of our rookies do you think has the best chance of seeing the floor, and who do you think has the hardest time to see the floor?
Right.
I'm gonna go with Grimes, strictly of an opportunity. I think there's a lot of competition at the point guard position for Deuce to get minutes over. Because like I mentioned, you already got Kemba and Rose, and then depending on how good Quickly is playing, you know what I'm saying, you got Quickly ahead of you too. So I just positionally, I think Deuce, even if Deuce, I like Deuce the most too, which sucks, but there's just a lot of competition with guys who have significant minutes at that position in front of him. So I would say Grimes, and obviously when it comes to Jericho Sims, you know what I mean, as much as I love him, he ain't gonna get no minutes unless Nerlens or Mitch get hurt. You know what I'm saying, long term. You know what I mean? But well, hopefully we'll see what happens. You never know. Trade might come and we might have to package Nerlens in there, and then that opens up a spot for Jericho or something like that. Or a trade for somebody at the point guard position that opens a spot for Deuce. But I just think, to me, it's Grimes that has the the easiest path to have the most minutes out of the rookies.
I agree with that.
What do you think, Ricky?
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Deuce, and the reason why, I don't think either one of them are really gonna get like serious minutes this year. Too many dudes.
Yeah.
But the way Homeboy played in summer league again, I think that he's going to get a lot of minutes in situational basketball based on matchups. Mm-hmm. I think his grittiness. I think that the way he plays defense, that boy, he plays the kind of defense where if I was a coach, I'd be that coach where dudes probably hate me because I'm like, yo, I want you to run that full court on them. We are 10, 15, like, nah, go out there. And he plays that. He's out there on them, hassling them the whole time up and down the court, sticking with them, making sure they're not even getting a rock in their hand. I love the way that kid plays basketball. And he could shut down a young dude. Like, if you get somebody, because, we got two veteran point guards with bad knees.
Yeah, that's true.
And we have Quickly, who has not shown his defensive acumen like that yet. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think this kid is going to be 5 seconds left, 10 seconds, like the last few minutes, and we need defense and somebody who could shoot. That right there, I think that's going to get that kid some minutes. And it might be would you say the kid's name, the one you
Grimes, Quentin
Grimes.
Yeah, Quentin Grimes. Like,
no, but that's a great point, because these guys,
it is a good point.
They're going to miss time. Derrick Rose and Kemba Walker, they're going to miss time.
Definitely. So, and when they get these kids in there, I'm excited to see them. I'd hate to see it be an injury. Same thing like you said with Sims. There's going to have to be a few injuries. Mm-hmm. Like Taj, I love Taj. I love having New Yorkers on the squad.
Yeah, love it.
But I don't know how much he can handle. He did his thing in the playoffs too. Like, this squad is dope.
Right.
He was playing.
No, he's not going nowhere. Taj's not
playing.
Going
First
of all,
he's part of the coaching staff.
First of all, he almost made me cry. And that they did the video when he was out there sounding like he was about to cry. He was like, "Yo, this is magical." He was like, "I ain't
gonna lie. I was sitting there, and my wife was like, "Babe, you still watching?" I was like, "No, nothing. I wasn't still watching that."
No,
it wasn't me.
Allergies kicking in. When he was in there looking like he about to cry, and then they brought him back. I was like, they had to bring him back after that shit. He was like, "Yo, this is just like magical. We playing for the Knicks."
Yeah,
after all the years he's been in the league, and he's still grateful to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's like out the blue. I walk by and look at my daughter, and she'd be like, "Nothing."
Yep.
Like, yeah, all right.
That was me.
How you have that effect like this? Nothing. My daughter does the same thing now. I look at her and she was like, Dad, stop. Dad, stop getting angry, because I didn't even say nothing to him. Like, I didn't say that.
No, my son, the first thing he'll do, he'll run up to me with his hands behind his, be like, "Daddy, I love you." I'm like, "What'd you do?"
What happened?
What'd you do?
Oh man. I think I used to say Sims Jericho, and that's because I was worried about Mitchell Robinson's injury and not, like you said, if one of these centers go down, I think he's gonna fill right in. But the fact that McBride might be our best defender at the point guard position, I think he might get more opportunities than I originally thought. But Grimes was always in the middle for me. But like you said, because of the position he plays and the fact that some people think that he could play the 3 as well, I think
how tall is he?
He's 6'5", 6'6".
They say he can play the 3.
That's what they. I mean, he's another one. He defends.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
that's what makes him multi-positional. Yeah,
he defends, so it's not really about offense. I mean, he can shoot too, but the fact that they think he could guard the 3 position, at least some of the smaller 3s,
which is crazy because coming out of high school, he was a point guard.
Point guard, yep. But the beautiful thing about this is we don't have to play any of our rookies. When was the last time that we had rookies that didn't have
we ain't need to play
expectation? You know what I mean? Like they could actually be rookies, learn,
develop.
You know what I mean? All that stuff. But you learn when you don't play if you want to. You know what I mean? And if you're coached right.
Yeah.
And if you're coached right. So this is a beautiful thing because we've never been in that. I can't think of any time we had more than one draft pick, and I didn't really care if any of them played or not. It wasn't like, oh, he's got to start. He's going to play this amount of minutes. We need him to be who he's going to probably be in 3 or 4 years now. Right. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I love that, man. We've never been in this position before. The future is bright.
For sure.
Any questions you guys got?
That was a good point.
I'm good, man.
Nah, man, I'm good. You hit the nail on the head right there, man. You good. You got it. Hammer on the nail.
He was close there. You said you hit the.
I didn't know what it sounds like.
You hit the hammer with that nail, man.
Hammer at the nail.
Didn't do nothing, but you hit it.
You did it.
Oh man. Let's see. I'm gonna close it out, but let me get one more question in. I can't find my paper. I had a paper with some questions.
It's your daughter. You got going to ask with the paper.
Nothing.
As soon as you walk in, she goes like nothing.
She probably was her homework. I stay writing on her homework.
My paper, Dad.
Like, hey, why you writing on my homework? I'm like, why is it in here and not in your movie? I don't know, man. I lost it, man. But I appreciate you guys going in, coming on. Excuse me. I mean, we hit an hour mark, so at least I hit my benchmark. I try to keep these an hour. I thought it was gonna be 3 hours with 3 people, but
if it wasn't so late, we probably would have went.
And that's what I was just about. I was just about to say. That's probably what it is. I'm not used to coming on this late, so I'm probably a little tired. But yeah, I definitely appreciate you coming on. I got to get you on the regular show where it's a panel, but I mean, it's a panel now, so this kind of felt like
Yeah, right.
my regular show and not the episodes. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
but y'all more than welcome to come back. You get random links sent to you. You know it's from me, and if you're
Word.
free, jump in. You know what I mean? If not, catch you next time. And
Word.
then yeah, whenever you guys want to have me on, preferably a Monday or a Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm down with it. But for sure, appreciate you guys coming on. You want to
Thanks for
let
having
the
me,
people
man.
know where to find you when you drop, Twitter handles, all that stuff.
It's really Guard Up Knicks at Guard Up Knicks on Twitter, on Instagram as well, even on Facebook. I'm Apollo Reed. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Apollo Reed. Underscore at Apollo Reed underscore. And yeah, man, we try to drop as often as we can. Try to do twice a week at least. And at least until the games start up. You know, once the games start up, we like to do our post games. Sometimes we do some pre games depending on how our work schedules go, but we usually try to drop a few times throughout the week and make sure we keep bring you guys some fresh stuff.
Nice.
Well, I'm Andre Jalil. You know what I'm saying? On Twitter, Instagram, I'm Andre Jalil _production. And yeah, man, that's it. Andre Jalil, I'm with the Guard Up Next. Yeah, I mean, I'm under that umbrella, so you know that's how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
What
Well, Rick
about
the
you, Green
Ruler.
Lantern?
Got you, Rick.
He's Green
Cousin.
Lantern _ Rick.
Green Lantern.
Yeah, you threw me off. All right. GUK _Rick on Instagram. Yeah, that's Twitter. On
Twitter.
Instagram, it's Rick the Ruler _GUK.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, this was fun for sure. We gotta get another one going sometime.
Thanks for
Yes, sir.
having us too,
Thanks for
man.
having
That's a
me.
fact, man. I'm always welcome back. I had a great time. You guys made me laugh. I
That's
love
what
the
we like to do,
chemistry.
man.
That seems to be our thing when we get on the show.
I mean,
got everybody laughing.
no, but for the chemistry, man, that joint is nice. Yeah, I think you guys are gonna do big things. Keep doing what y'all doing.
Sure.
You got a fan here, that's for sure.
Appreciate you. Like I said to you earlier, we family for real. That's my brother, that's my cousin. So we this is a lifetime of chemistry, man. This is what we do.
Lifetime of laughing, man. So
Yeah,
it's natural.
Get a lot of trouble too.
Get it.
No doubt. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the Podfather Sim, nothing but Knicks, MBK fan.
Bro, your
Guard
chat
Up
pop-
Knicks.
Yeah,
Check them out.
they some diehard fans, man. I was reading that stuff.
They all capitals over here. They don't be
Peace to the chat, man.
That's a fact. Yo, that's a fact.
Yeah.
You guys stay on. I'm gonna talk to you behind the scenes.
All right.
But I'm out. Your black is time.